Welcome to the show, The People's Voice Matters. This is your host, Shelly Bowman. Here we have with us today Miss Deneen Jones. She is a gospel writer, and she's also a gospel singer. We have here Mr. Munga, Steve Munga, who is a fashion designer. We'll start off with Miss Deneen Jones. How did you become a singer? What inspired you to become a singer?
Well, I've sang all of my life. I love to sing. My mother's a minister, so I grew up in the church. As to where I am now, I was a praise and worship leader at my church, and just due to an act of God, we just started to grow that group of ladies. I started with 2 of us, and then there were 3, and at some point we have 4. What happened there was we started to go out and sing for some programs, and people started to invite us to come and actually sing as a group. So we really had to sit down and think if that was what we wanted to do. We prayed about it, and God answered our prayers, and we are now a new praise. So that's pretty much where we are now. We have been blessed with lots and lots of people that have come into our paths and helped us out, given us a lot of good advice, and we just released our first promo CD.
Wow, that's amazing. And how do you feel about being a professional artist now, from coming from the church singing and now coming to the professional field? Was it a hard transition?
I wouldn't say it was a hard transition, but it is different. Singing in the church is one thing, and there's only one thing that you have to focus on, and that's just doing what you do. Becoming professional and moving to the other side adds a business aspect to that, which requires some balancing. You know, a church can't function if there's no money coming in to pay the lights, and a singing group cannot travel if there's not some sort of business going on that it's going to provide some revenue for us to do that. So it's a difference. Still focusing on God and focusing on ministering, but there's a couple of different facets there that come along with it.
Right. And which arena are you trying to reach, or you inspire to reach?
I feel that our group is one that offers a little something for everyone. Our music is a little jazzy, it's a little churchy, it's a little, you know, it's got a little bit of everything in it for everyone. All of the members of our group write. We all have a story, and our music reflects our story. So if you were to listen to our CD, I mean, we have one young lady who is an 8th grade teacher, and her song is called Pray. And it's something that a young person could listen to. It talks about whenever you look for your friends and there's no one around. It talks about, you know, when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling sad, the answer to everything is to pray. So that's the song that I've been tracking on some of our... I'm sorry.
Okay. What type of style? I know that you said your style is to kind of a jazzy, but it's also not churchy.
Right.
But the style is really, it's different than most singing. And what separates you from the gospel aspect, and not just the hip hop gospel, but what arena? How does it separate you from those individuals?
Well, we've coined our genre as praise, P-R-A-I-Z, because it has the background of praise and worship. There is a different feel to it. We're not quite quartet.
Right.
We're not quite Kirk Franklin type music.
Right.
We're not really reaching the Mary Mary group. We're just, the stories that are told through our songs reach people on a lot of different levels.
Right.
So we do feel that we are unique in the way that all of our songs have some sort of praise in it. Right. So I would say that's what makes us a little different.
Right. Right, that's awesome.
4 women on fire for Christ.
Right.
So
And talking about the 4 women, that's leads to my next question. I know that sometimes it's difficult working with different women in different arenas, come from different backgrounds. How was it coming together? I know that you said you were started off with 4, then you were down to 3, and then it kind of progressed. But then, you know, God has a way of working it out. But how did you get to where it's a steady 3? Because I know there were some challenges, and what were those challenges?
People are people.
Right.
Women are women, no matter where we are.
Right.
Men are men.
Right.
So let me throw that out there. But it really takes a lot of prayer, because if you're not family, it's easy to walk away.
Right.
You know, family will become angry with each other, but because you're related, you're connected, eventually you're going to work that out.
Right.
So I wouldn't say this relates specifically to a singing group,
Right.
but just any group, any organization, anything that you're in.
Right.
You just have to find ways to make yourself stay connected. And what we have to do is we have to pray. We have to pray, and we have to talk, and we have to have those difficult conversations. And I think that's what is going to help us remain successful as we move forward, is honesty, openness, and making sure that we focus on what we're here to do, and that is to put God first.
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm so glad that, you know, there is an actual group that's out there that's not only inspiration to the older crowd, but they're actually reaching the younger crowd. And that's very good, especially now for this generation, and bringing up our children. And how do you balance, speaking about children, how do you balance your child life and your family life and traveling and all the exposure that you get? How do you balance that?
Multitasking is important. But the one thing that I have is a very good support system. I have family that lives very close. My son is 12, and he is very musically inclined, so he's very, very into what we do. He likes to come to practice. He likes to travel with us. So that doesn't create much of a challenge for me in balancing that. And my mom's probably my biggest fan. So I have a groupie group.
Right.
So,
that's good.
But you know, it sometimes is challenging as far as making sure that he gets what he needs. Being 12, he's still in school.
Right.
So sitting down, doing the homework, setting out a time to do some of the other things that we need to do, and just being mommy.
Right.
You know, but as far as singing and that being associated, I'm just mommy at home.
Yes,
I'm just mommy at home. He knows every song that we sing. He's musically inclined, so he can play pretty much everything on his keyboard and his saxophone. And, you know, as long as he stays interested, it keeps it easy for me.
Right. And when you were younger, did you sing, or did you just started singing just when you became older?
I've always sang. Again, like I said, my mother is a minister, so I grew up in the church. She comes from a singing family, so it's just natural that when a children's choir formed, I was on a children's choir, and I moved to the young adult choir, and as I became an adult, I chose which way I wanted to go as far as singing, but that's always been a part of my life and will always be a part of my life.
Right. Do anybody in your house sing? I mean, your family sing?
Not professionally, but my mother's family is a singing family. They that's just what they do, and it's just in us.
Okay, that's great. And do you think that you'll try something else? I know that you're in the singing arena, and in the industrious many other talents that you have. Do you have any other talents that you would like to talk about?
Talents. I think God gives us all many talents. My calling is to minister through song.
Yes.
But God has given me, I would say, the gift of leadership, which I'm the president of our group, and that has helped a lot. But as far as doing anything else, my ultimate thing that I would like to do in life is to mentor young girls, and that's...
And speaking of mentoring, I love your dress that you have on today. And speaking of fashion, it's very, very beautiful. And this is one of the dresses that you do wear in your group, which you have told me. Speaking of fashion, Mr. Steve Munga.
That's correct.
You have a urban line of urban wear, and young people nowadays love urban. We love dress.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your dress and your style.
Yes, we deal with fashion trends, whether it's female, male, and even young children. And you know, with this now global market, the way things are going, fashion is an international movement. You know, from the time it started, you know, the time of cosmopolitan magazines, and before it used to be you wait for the magazines to come out to know what the fashion is out. Now we have the global internet age, where in today's arena people see people on television, and immediately it sparks a movement to the entire world. So what we are wearing here in the United States is what being worn in Africa, in Asia, and all these other markets. So my job is to find out fashion's interest in young people and bring those things locally, because what people want to wear, what is hot in LA, in New York. And so I go around and bring this fashion locally here. So and we also do have, you know, communities that, like for example, I do ship things around the world where people want to wear what is being worn here. From red carpet, you know, people see good stuff and they say they would like to wear that. And by the way, at a lower cost, and that's the key there, is that before it used to be, if you saw, you know, a nice dress or a nice pair of pants or a suit, you know, it cost a fortune. But with the way things are going globally, in fact, things are being, for example, you have companies in the United States that, you know, buys, you know, things in China, and they go get designed in Vietnam. They're shipped in India, and it's a huge process. It's not like it used to be, you know, item is produced in one location. Now it's taken all over around. Like we have some dresses that actually comes from Vietnam, but they're taken to India just to put the jewelry part of it, you know, and then they are shipped here in the United States, and then they are distributed around the world.
So you do international shopping, so that means that internationally it's here, so we don't have to go to Africa or Asia to just get that style. We can come here. And so how did you come up with your trends? Did you look in magazines, or did you just watch reality channels, or how did you come up with your trend, and how did you reach, and what individuals are you trying to reach, or did you reach?
I'm trying to reach mostly basically all markets, but I'm focused at this point on young people, and the reason being, you know, what's happening is, you know, you remember there was a time that, you know, young folks used to wait, you know, again, a huge process to read through the catalogs to see what kind of fashion it is. But now you get things like YouTube, you have things like Facebook. So you have people go to Facebook and they see something and they're like I have my brother, I have 5 brothers and 2 sisters, and like, you know, they'll call me and ask me, oh, did you see that dress with who and who? Oh, can we get that dress? Guess what? Nowadays it's not that hard anymore to get that fashion. Even though there's still, you know, it's still a growing market when it comes to new fashions. But what's happening is now, like when I was growing up, we used to wear whatever was being worn in the United States. I was born in Kenya, and we used to wear whatever was being worn in the United States a year, 2 years behind. You know? And at the time, it used to be very hard. Now, if you go sell that kind of stuff, nobody's buying it. They're telling you, no, this is what's new. I just saw what new on Facebook, on YouTube. So I got caught up in that, and I said, you know, I could be a middleman, because that's what really we are. We are a middleman. We got from the manufacturer and we reach them to the consumers. And we have a huge interest. People want this stuff, and the key for us is to identify, because there's so much out there. So the key is identify what people's interests are, and then unleash it to them.
Speaking of people's interests, if, for instance, someone would say, oh, I like that dress, but it was just one individual, how do you come up with the tally of this population likes this, and then this population may not like that? So instead of just ordering one piece, and you know, it's easier to order in bundles because it's cheaper, how would you determine that?
Sometimes we do what we call test products.
Right.
So basically, you buy a product, you buy a couple of fashions items, and put them in the market, and without selling them, and see what the interest is.
Right.
You know, and we'll build a database based on that, and we say, okay, this seems to be generating more interest, so we will order that. So if something is not popular enough, then we just continue. And sometimes we order things and it turns out we are wrong. They're not quite that popular. That's part of being in a business, you know. But most cases, you know, it's quite obvious because you go through the internet and all that.
We really appreciate you, what you're saying, because the trend is very important
Yes.
nowadays. Thank you all for watching The People's Voice Matters. Please stay tuned to next week's show on Thursday at 3:30, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching.
Take me as I am, as I am.
Hi, this is Tyrone Chandler, the producer of the hottest new talk show, The People's Voice Matters. And our sitcom of the week is the new sitcom, On the Edge. I hope you enjoy it.
On y'all because see, we can't seem to get ahead in the fight. We tend to keep on struggling, you know what I'm talking about? This is just a message for all my folks, the people that listen, you know, we need to get up. Fight.
I said, come on here. I always got to move with somebody's chest. I don't know why. I got to show out everywhere I go. I got to show out and go show my tail everywhere I go.
Yep, all that, and they better stay.
You look stupid as hell, that's what you look like.
It may look stupid, but this is a smart move. My sister steal everything she can get her hands on.
You joking. She can't be that bad. And besides, you her brother. She wouldn't do you like that.
A crackhead don't care who they take from or what they take. Dog, you done made me lose count.
My bad, dog. But that's real talk. They will make some things disappear.
Leave some unattended, and my sister will take me to her custody.
Oh yeah, she out of pocket.
Yeah, but real talk, she cleaned her pockets out years ago.